3, 2, 1.
This is Chargers Unleashed Podcast. Here are your hosts, Dan Wolkenstein and Jake Hefner.
Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Dan Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. Today's show, of course, being brought to you by UFC Fit and Temecula, Charger Bolt Family, Golden Road Brewery, Tick Pick, and MyBookie. Dan Wolkenstein.
Go!
Nothing more needs to be said, obviously. Dan, it's been a long time for you, myself, probably the entirety of the Chargers fan base where we can have a Sunday afternoon to where we're not sweating bullets, to where we're not stressed out coming down to the final 3-0s of the game. Dan, I didn't send you one frustrated text message, which I don't think has happened in the 2 years that we've been doing this show.
Nope.
And hey, we were due. We were due for a game like this. The Chargers, regardless what the final score indicates, roll against the New York Giants, did what they had to do, took care of business. This was not a trap game against the New York Giants, and a setup for a basically divisional control against the Kansas City Chiefs coming this Thursday night. Dan Wolkenstein, you were there, of course, with our close friend in crime, Ryan Darude. What was it like?
Oh, man. Oh, it was beautiful. Literally got to have my feet up, just relaxing. Got to see, Chase Daniel in the fourth quarter. Man. Okay, Jake, Chargers are 8-5. Let's go. Welcome to Chargers Unleashed. If you have not yet already, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, follow us anywhere you find us for your podcast as well as YouTube. For those who are live with us in the chat, what's going on? Let's go, Bolt fam, 8-5. Leave a comment, engage, let's have some fun. If you have any questions or feedback, let us know. We are going to be going through all kinds of stuff today. We've got the Chargers versus the Giants recap. We've got Chargers Unleashed Hotline, Jake, sponsored by MyBookie. And we've got live reactions. Man, today is a great day. We've heard about the news with Rashawn Slater. We're going to get to that. I am not going to let that take away from how huge this victory was against the Giants. No Derwin James, no Keenan Allen, no Asante Samuel Jr. Yes, Giants were also depleted, but Chargers, Jake, and you know this more than I do, or at least as much as I do, Chargers do not blow out their opponents. They play down the competition. And what do you know? SoFi, Electric City, giant win in SoFi. Chargers roll. Whew! The feeling I had when I checked my phone at the end of the fourth quarter and there were 0 text messages from Jake Hefner, I literally was like, do I have... Is this thing on? Is this service working? I don't understand. This is no way. This is so weird. Jake, your pessimistic ass has to be sitting there and feel like, what the hell am I going to say today? Now that the Chargers are 3 games over 500, firmly in the 5 seed, possibly in the 3 seed in a few days. You were on your couch. How do you feel about this win?
I was feeling great, Dan. My pessimistic ass was just fine. What did I come on here and say last week? You asked me for my bold and my game predictions. I said, who gives a shit? I said, the Chargers just need to go in and win this game. I don't care how it's done. Take care of business. Get yourself in a position to where you're going to be battling it out for the number 1 spot in the AFC West. You've already put yourself, you handcuffed yourself a little bit there during the ebbs and flows of these last couple of weeks. The Denver game, when the Kansas City Chiefs had a bye, it set you back a little bit. But now is your opportunity to, you're going to really have to pull a rabbit out of the hat on this one if all things end up going the way that they are going. But you're in a position now to where you could be taking over the AFC West come Thursday.
Man. So we're going to go through all kinds of stuff today. As we mentioned, we got the Unleashed Hotline that we're going to go through here in a bit where we get live voicemails post-game. As we go through the comments and questions, we're going to do our best to bring those up throughout the show as we can. Shout out to Jonathan Herrera, Bolt Up. Shout out to Aegon27 Bolt Gang with the 2 lightning bolts. You know we're bringing that energy, of course. Let's see, Jake. Where do you even want to start? I feel like we got to start with the thing that I think blew up the entire Chargers / NFL / Twitter universe, which was arguably the throw of the year across the league.
Dan, I everybody was just freaking out. I even sent out an emotional tweet, which is not something I usually do. I usually take the Herm Edwards approach and say, read that one again. Are you sure you want to hit send on that one? And I didn't give a shit. I tweeted out, I said, keep your tape. Justin Herbert is a monster. And you know what? I can't say it any better. Dan, you can't say it any better. Just one more time, can we hear the actual call of Justin Herbert's H-bomb to Jalen Guyton? Go ahead, play it up.
Good friends, Daniel Jeremiah, Matt Money Smith on the call. I was there live. Let's listen up. Let's enjoy this one more time.
We go on 3rd down. Here comes the rush. Rolling to his right as Herbert sets his feet, takes a shot downfield, has Guyton. Caught! Touchdown, Chargers! There is one quarterback in the NFL that can make that play, and he is on the field here this afternoon. 59 yards. Herbert to Guyton, and it makes no sense. No sense.
That's the greatest throw I've ever seen. I'm not kidding you.
First of all, I mean, what are we?
Wow. Just wow. Everything that was in that whole sequence was just nuts. The fact that he gets that throw off, like you mentioned, Dan, because you've tweeted about it a million times already, with his feet not set, literally right before he gets hit. Big play, PFF, Dan Orlovsky, however you want to rate it.
Play. Tape.
Throw it on the board. Jeez.
I'm watching this live, and so our good friend, founder of LAFB Network, Ryan Dyrud, he is there with us at the game, and I'm looking at him end of the first half, which we'll get into kind of a play-by-play here in a bit, but end of the first half, I'm thinking, man, we got the ball back. I would love to see just one deep shot. Screw it. I know we could do a halfback draw, whatever. 3rd and 11, I'm like, here we go. And I'm watching this unfold. And I see, first off, I'm like, oh no, he's going to get sacked. Wait, okay, the ball, wow, that's going far. Oh my God, Jalen, no. And I couldn't throw, I can't throw a ball 30 yards, let alone 65 yards, whatever. You can give me $1 million. I could never make that throw. And there are, like Matt Money Smith said, there are arguably 3 people, I would say maybe 2 or 1, who can make that throw. Under that pressure, getting hit, not even set, throwing it 64 yards in the air. Justin Herbert has the strongest arm in the NFL. I will put money on that right now.
It's the longest air distance pass so far in the NFL season.
And he wasn't even set.
Mark Slater, though, he pointed out the one person that wasn't impressed with that throw at all, and that's Uncle Rico, because Uncle Rico can throw it over mountains. Thinks Justin Herbert's something special with his little 65-yard touchdown pass. Uncle Rico's not impressed, but hey, if that's the only guy that's not impressed, that's just fine with me, baby.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So, Jake, I think all of us, Aegon27 has a comment here. Great win. We were all worried for nothing. The Bolts handled business. You and I were texting pregame when we heard the Derwin news. And I was like, oh no. This can't happen. There's no way. This is way harder than it needs to be. Fast forward about 2 hours. My feet were kicked back. I was fine. Everyone was worried because this is what the Chargers fans have been used to, as much as this year.
Thank you.
I'm not talking last year, but this year, up and down, up and down. The Chargers have not shown who they are consistently all year long until this past Sunday.
Dan, it's not just last year. It's not just what's happened in certain games this year. It's over the better part over the past decade that things like this just so happen to rear their ugly head and be in a position to derail a good Chargers season. And like you, much of the times when the Chargers have flipped the script in certain situations where normally, historically, they would lose games, they've been able to pull out victories in those situations. And here was no different. No Keenan Allen. No problem. I thought the involvement that Josh Palmer and Jalen Guyton got in this game and the rapport that they were able to build with Justin Herbert was
Huge.
flat out amazing. I loved the aggressive play call from Joe Lombardi from the jump. Dan, this was actually the game that I loved. Screw the fact that it was the Giants. All I wanted the entirety of the year was consistency. Show me 2 games where your game plan shows the exact same type of aggressiveness that you're opening up the entirety of the playbook, maximizing all of the physical attributes that Justin Herbert has to offer you. And we saw it last week in Cincinnati. We saw it again in this game against the New York Giants. This was a phenomenally coached game by both Brandon Staley and Joe Lombardi. Justin Herbert was throwing out of his mind. Josh Palmer, I mean, save his touchdown catch that he made a great route run on, but it was the one that I was really impressed with, and I almost thought Herbert was going to overthrow him, but he high-pointed the ball just where Joshua Palmer can get it. Take that, Dan Orlovsky, because those are the plays that he always looks at, and it was a beautiful catch. It was a beautiful catch. They opened up the game with a 15-yard strike to Mike Williams. Obviously, the plays to Jalen Guyton. They were just rolling. I was even more impressed, Dan, with the second offensive drive that the Chargers had, where it just became the Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson show. And it's like, okay, well, we're going with this. And then by the time that drive was done, Austin Eckler had 8 carries for 24 yards. Or no, I'm sorry. No, it was 6 carries for 24 yards at that point. I think just an average. The Chargers in that drive alone were averaging 8 yards a carry. So holes were being opened. They were able to run the ball down. And I was like, okay, well, where's the pass coming? Where's the RPO? Where's the play action? And they didn't choose any of that. It was just like, we're just going to keep running it until this isn't going to work anymore. And Austin Eckler ends up getting the first points up on the board. But aggressive all the way through. Say what you will about the end of the game. Yeah, you don't want to see it when you have a blowout like that the Chargers don't usually get those opportunities for. And yeah, you put the backups in, but you put the backups in. When was the last time that the Chargers ever got an opportunity to put the backups in, for crying out loud? Ryan Clark said it best. He said, definition of a blowout is when Chase Daniel comes into play for your team. Can't say it any better than that.
Yep, no, I agree. Quick shout out to Matthew. Bolt up, boys. Can't wait for Thursday. Hope Slater can play. If you're going to be at the game, let us know in the comments. Can't wait to see you there. I will be there along with my wife. Going to be electric. Jake, you mentioned it real quick. Someone actually mentioned this. I want to get your take. Jonathan Herrera mentions being at the game, it seemed like the Chargers defense didn't worry about being aggressive near the end of the game. They just wanted to be done with the game, but I kind of wish they wouldn't allow points. Okay. Saw this live. 100% agree that the score would have looked so much better if it was 37-7, but I'll take a 37-36 victory with everyone healthy all day. I wish the Chargers would have continued with the 37-7, but, the onside kick thing that ended up not costing us because of the Neiman interception. Yeah, I wish the score was a little bit different, but I'll take health every single time.
Yeah, no question. No, I'm with you, Dan. I thought defensively, even without Derwin James, you got to talk about what Mike Williams, Chris Harris, and Tavon Campbell were doing for a majority of this game. What a time for these guys to have a little bit of resurgence. Mike Davis, in my opinion, played his best game of the season. Chris Harris has been playing better over the last couple weeks, even going back to Cincinnati. These guys had, Dan, I want to say just between Mike Davis and Tavon Campbell. I think they had 7 pass breakups between the two of them.
That's more than Tavon Campbell's had all year.
I think that's more than I can recall Mike Davis having this entire year. And then win one game. Not just 7. I'm just talking about in general. I mean, It was a great game for the defensive backs, given the fact that you didn't have Derwin James. And everybody was freaking out before the games because everybody's seeing like, okay, it's now going to be Ben DeLuca is going to be in there for the emergency safety position. You may be shifting Chris Harris back in the safety position, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. I do wish you probably could have gotten a little bit more pressure on Mike Glennon throughout this game. Joey Bosa obviously got the strip sack. I know I'm missing one. I think I'm missing one more sack in here somewhere, but I really wish I could have seen a little bit more pressure. But I think that, again, that was a lot more geared towards what the Giants were doing and running the ball. So you didn't have as many opportunities, but who cares? You didn't need it. The Chargers rolled, and in all 3 phases of the game, minus the almost botched punt from Ty Long at the end of the game, this was virtually flawless.
Justin Jones was the other one who had the sack in that game. Shout out to Craig Smith, by the way. Been a while.
What is
up, buddy?
Craig? Good to see you, buddy.
And he's going to be at SoFi on Thursday. Game of the year.
Game on.
For those who had Josh Palmer on their fantasy team on the bench all year, like our good friend Matthew, you done well. This kid looks good.
I have to believe that was a 12 or 16 team league if we were going that deep. But good job. If you finally used him, it was worth it. Awesome. 5
catches, 66 yards, 1 touchdown, which that touchdown breaking ankles, by the way. That was a Keenan. Like, did you see him do a little Keenan dance at the end? I was loving it. I was dying. That catch you mentioned from opposite hash, that throw was ridiculous, but now it's seemingly happening every week. I really like Josh Palmer. I think he's going to turn into quite a wide receiver 2 or 3, even higher, depending on where this team ends up going with their wide receiving core. So, Chargers beat the Giants, move to 8-5. Justin Herbert goes casual 23 for 31, 275, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I believe he is the fastest player in NFL history to have 230, or youngest player in NFL history to have 2 straight 30 touchdown seasons to start his career. Sorry. He's the only player to have done that. I believe he is the 3rd youngest player in NFL history to have done what he has done. This kid, this is not normal. Like, this is so insane what this kid is doing. His QBR right now, Jake, I believe he is number 1 in the NFL. Over 100 for the season for quarterback rating. Like,
we could keep going on stats all day, and this is why I snicker, and I know a lot of the other people do, when you just feel like sometimes Justin Herbert gets overlooked. And I think more of the reason why some of these things aren't being talked about enough is because, well, look at who Justin Herbert just beat. You know, it was around the entirety of the NFL yesterday, it was blowout central. There was blowout games left and right, and thankfully the Chargers were able to contribute to that. But Dan, can you believe that Herbert, as of right now, and we still have 4 games to go before the season's done, all he needs is 314 more passing yards to break the NFL record for most passing yards in a player's first 2 seasons. Currently, that's held by Andrew Luck. And Justin Herbert's only 314 yards away passing from breaking that.
Preview, he'll get that next week or in 3 days.
That's one. And then for everybody that was talking about, even before the season started, that because it was a different offensive coordinator, or, you know, whatever you want to say about Joe Lombardi, or you're predicting the sophomore slump, this is what Field Yates had to tweet this morning. Justin Herbert in 2020, 31 passing touchdowns, the most by any rookie ever. That's obviously been documented. Justin Herbert so far in 2021, with still 4 games left to play, he's got 30 passing touchdowns through 13 games.
He's rushing touchdowns, almost 300 yards rushing.
He's the first player in NFL history with 30 or more passing touchdowns in each of his first 2 seasons. Give me a break.
I think I saw you message this. What was that whisper about regression that we were going to see this year?
That's what they call regression, right? When you put up stats like that, I think that's what it is. When you set the bar that high, yeah, you're definitely bound to regress.
So Chargers. Let's go real quick. So Chargers started this thing off. I believe they started off with the punt. Then afterwards, go up 7-0. Giants come back with a one fluke, crazy 70-yard play that felt like it took 37 seconds.
I actually loved the blitz on that play. I loved the blitz. And Glennon got hammered.
He did. Who was that? Was that
Kyle Rudolph who made the Keeman Hall came in on the blitz, and then Kyle Rudolph made the catch.
Then the Chargers go up again. So they go up 7-0 with Austin Eckler touchdown. Then 14-7, Josh Palmer breaking ankles, gets to the corner. 17-7, one stalls. Chargers get the ball back with about 40 seconds left. Take about 20 seconds, go 70 yards with that bomb from Justin Herbert, go up 24-7. And at that point, Jake, I think everyone watching the game was like, well, that's a wrap. Time to go home.
It kind of was. I mean, I was thinking to myself, because that was right after the Chargers themselves. They had a short punt that the Giants took over at like their own 40. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, are they going to come down and score? And then they had a very, very bizarre series that they had to end up punting.
Who is calling? People are pissed off at Joe Lombardi for their play calling. What the hell was that?
Enter Freddie Kitchens.
Jeez.
Crying out loud.
That's like a quadruple end around flicker. I'm like, what are we doing?
Dan, I have to say, one of the more subtle things that I know some people have noticed it and pointed it out, and obviously the throw is what gets the headlines in this. But did you notice that Justin Herbert was channeling his inner Phillip Rivers as he was freaking high-stepping it all the way to the end zone to get up with Jalen Guyton? I was like, oh my God, I've seen that way too many times before, and I love seeing it. It was almost just like, master, apprentice, master, Padawan. It's just, the tradition keeps going. I love it.
Anthony Weber comments, Glennon was better than Herbert in the fourth quarter. It's not even close.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Tape. Herbert was out of the game.
Yep.
Tape.
When is the last time Anthony Weber comes in here with another comment, which I thought is fitting?
This is totally you, by the way.
Seems like we're peaking. I'm not Anthony Weber. Seems like we're peaking at the right time. Thoughts? Okay, pause. When is the last time a Chargers fan base has been able to wonder, are we peaking at the right time?
Maybe it's ironic that probably the last time that we were talking about this was 3 years ago when we beat the Kansas City Chiefs off the 2-point conversion that Mike Williams ended up scoring. Remember those 2 games that the Chargers had in that 2018 season? I believe they were back-to-back, if I remember correctly, Dan. It was the Kansas City game. Forgive me if I'm flip-flopping the order, but it was Kansas City and it was Pittsburgh in that 2-game stretch. And you remember how the Pittsburgh game ended? It was the same damn thing because we had to come back in that game. And I believe that one was triggered by the 4th down play that I think it was Travis Benjamin who caught that pass from Rivers on a rope, and everybody was trying to figure out how the hell did that throw? Did he catch that?
People, number one, Travis Benjamin catches.
Yes, and then it was the field goal fiasco that Michael Badgley had to essentially kick 4 field goals because the Steelers were jumped offside twice. They ended up blocking one, but it was another penalty, and eventually Badgley got it up and through. And that was a 2-game stretch between the Steelers game and the Kansas City Chiefs game. And I think at that point right there, you're probably thinking to yourself, holy crap, we may have something. And ultimately, the Chargers ended up with a 12-4 record. Unfortunately, of course, the Chiefs had the same record and the tiebreaker that year, which put them to win the division. But yeah, Dan, I mean, it's 2018, especially with everything that has gone on in the world. 2018 seems like a long, long time ago.
Yeah, it really does.
So yeah, it's been a minute since we've gotten a chance to enjoy Chargers football in December, and
so would you
start looking towards to January?
Would you say they're peaking at the right time?
I am more confident in these last 2 weeks that this is the case. And I say that from what I've been asking for all year, consistency. And not just putting together wins, because the Chargers obviously did that when they started off at 3-1, but I wanted to see the same aggressive play calling.
Yep.
Show me how you're going to beat teams using the same exact thing that works for you. Let your quarterback use all of his physical abilities. And what I saw in Cincinnati and what I saw yesterday shows me that they might finally understand what it is they're doing from a coaching standpoint. Not only that, Dan, I'm knocking on some early wood right now, and I'm not going to make any type of predictions that this is going to be coming true. The indications are from Brandon Staley is that they expect to have Derwin James back, hopefully.
Check.
Said he's obviously going to be limited. Austin Eckler apparently was good enough to go back in the game against the Giants. You're going to probably have him back for Thursday. Asante Samuel Jr. started some limited work last week. If you were going to bring him back for any game, as risky as that is, as much as I've even erred on the side of caution, could you get him back on Thursday? Could you get some other players that have been on this injury list, more so from the depth perspective? It sounds like you're going to be getting Keenan Allen back. I would love to see both of these teams at 100% health. Now, Dan, we have to mention it, unfortunately, because like I said many a times, the Chargers only have good things for so long.
Can't even get 24 hours.
And in a day where we're just thriving in our victory, ready for a war on Thursday, damn COVID, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And not just with Rashawn Slater, but with 36 other players around the league. It was a big list today, unfortunately. So what we heard, as far as what we know, Rashawn Slater tested positive for COVID this morning. Under the protocols, he has to have 2 days of negative testing in order to be cleared for this game.
Which can mean he can test negative tomorrow and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday. I'm 99% sure that is correct. So we have a 2-day window here. But
Dan, I Googled it. I've already looked up a few seances, and guilty as charged. No pun intended. I have already performed some of these seances as good luck to get Rashawn Slater healthy for Thursday. This is, of course, the week that it has to be short. This is, of course, the week that it has to be on Thursday Night Football. Rashawn Slater is vaccinated, so if this game was on Sunday, there was probably be a good chance that you would have him ready to play.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, I don't know about this. I don't know. And as
I got you.
You're trying to look. You've already proven to me from our earlier conversations that you're not going to convince me about this. You tried. I wasn't buying it. Craig is asking very nicely if you would be, explain to him how you can keep him from punching himself in the face after hearing this Rashawn Slater news, given what we know is behind Rashawn Slater in the depth for the offensive line.
We are going, Craig, I see you and I hear you. Craig, for those who do not know, Craig is asking in the comments, I'm here to see if Dan can convince me not to punch myself in the face after today's Slater news. I will do that as soon as we get back from our first voicemail left from Chargers Unleashed Hotline. Chargers Unleashed Hotline is live. We've got 3 to go through today.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was ready for it. I didn't like the fact that you teased it like that. It's like,
I'm teasing it because look, we're bringing this. We're not letting this happen. I will let you not punch yourself in the face, Craig. Don't worry. Chargers Unleashed Hotline brought to you by TickPick 323-374-5651. Go to tickpick.com/unleashed, and you can get arguably the cheapest seats although this next game against the Chiefs might be tough to come by. But Broncos game coming up in January. You get the cheapest seats on the market, cheaper than StubHub, cheaper than Ticketmaster. Go to tickpick.com/unleash. Check them out. Jake, 3 voicemails that we're going to get through. The first one we have is from the 719 area code. Let's hear what they have to say after the Chargers victory.
Turn that volume up to 11.
Yeah, well, hold on. There we go.
Yeah, being a Charger fan since Fouts was a rookie, this has been the most excited time I've been a Charger fan in a long, long time. I just say defense, we need to shore it up a little bit better, but aside from those 2 garbage TDs, well game played. Well game.
I've been saying this.
Yeah, you've been saying this a lot, actually.
Most excited this Chargers fan base has been since forever. I was saying since like the Super Bowl time, maybe like the 04 season, 06.
You're more excited about this team currently sitting at 8-5 than the 12-4 team that went to the playoffs in 2018.
100%. I think this team would. I think this team would smoke that team. 100%. And we're not going to get into the Herbert versus Rivers discussion, but I'll take Herbert on that team for sure. Yes, shout out. Thank you so much. Been a fan since Fouts' rookie season. He's been through a lot. We think we've been through a lot.
That's a minute.
Thank you for calling in. Okay, Jake, you ready?
Please. Craig, spoiler alert. Get your fist ready. You can't wait to hear this.
All right, so Craig, just to put some context here.
Oh, my Lord.
Craig is wanting, and I'm sure there are probably many Chargers fans who want to punch themselves in the face because, of course, Chargers first round, arguably all-pro, Pro Bowl, left tackle, Rashawn Slater.
Second most important player.
Arguably most important player aside from Justin Herbert, tested positive for COVID and is possibly out for Thursday. And he goes on to say, Kansas City has somehow managed to luck their way into following matchups: Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers, Dallas without Cooper and Lamb, and now us potentially without the likes of maybe Rashawn Slater, maybe Derwin, Asante, etc., etc. Now, for the record, Rashawn Slater being out of this game is a big loss, and it sucks, and it would be a blow for sure. Rashawn Slater is a stud, but let me remind you, okay? Rashawn Slater did not play in 2020, and Justin Herbert had the best rookie year of all time by a quarterback. Sure. Is there more going to be on Justin Herbert's shoulders if he doesn't play? Yes. Would you be surprised if the Chargers end up being in a track meet game 36-37? Whoever has the ball last has a chance to win? I wouldn't be at all. People want to sit here and crown the Chiefs defense now because all of a sudden they're playing these great games and their defense is coming out, balling out. All of a sudden, it's flipped the script. Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. I never thought the Chiefs were not a great team, but I also never bought into this Chiefs defense all of a sudden being elite and legit. They've played trash teams. The only positive victory that they have had against a good offense was the Cowboys. Every other team they played, the Raiders, give me a break. The Giants, come on, now they barely beat them. Like, who have they played in the last 6 weeks that you would say, oh yeah, that's a good offense? Chargers by far are the best offense this defense has ever played in 2021. So, would Rashawn Slater make this game a better matchup? Sure. Entertaining? I don't know. This game is going to be fireworks regardless. It sucks. But we don't know yet. One, Rashawn Slater still could play. So temper the alarms here. But more importantly, Justin Herbert is that good. He's better now than he was last year. And last year, he was damn good. So, like, before we all of a sudden decide, oh, season's over. Now we're going to be the 5 seed. Now we're maybe not make the play. Chargers just had a huge, I can't tell you how huge this win was against the Giants. 8-5, solely in 5th spot. If they win somehow this week, they are in their 3rd seed with home field advantage in the first round, atop the AFC West. But let's be real with ourselves for a sec. The Chargers just finished beating Kansas City in Kansas City. Did anyone think that they were going to go 2-0 against the Chiefs this year? There is a possibility the Chiefs can go 2-0 this year. And honestly, if those guys you mentioned earlier, Jake, Keenan Allen, Asante, Derwin, Jake, if they're playing, they're winning. Spoiler alert. But we'll get to that later. The news about Rashawn Slater sucks, but because we won this Giants game, it matters so much less for our playoff lives. Wait until he is officially not playing. Look, Craig, but Trey Pipkins, I know he was there last year. The black eye is for you, Dan. Don't do that to yourself.
You need to apologize to Craig.
Come on,
Dan.
Craig.
You need to apologize to Craig for forcing him into this right now.
Craig,
Are you
sorry.
kidding me?
I'm sorry that you punched yourself in the face, giving yourself a black eye. I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind?
Dan, I don't know. Look, we're all on a high after the win yesterday. Highlights to prove it. Justin Herbert breaking records to prove it. We're good. To a certain extent, I got it. I don't know what side of the bed you woke up on this morning. I don't know if you had 3 acai bowls and 6 protein shakes and you're just feeling healthy as an ox. I don't know what you had for dinner, for crying out loud.
I haven't had dinner
that has
yet. I'm
you
hungry.
in such a good mood. Yes, I know you are the internal optimist, but that spiel that you just put out, while a lot of it, there are facts in there. I won't discredit that.
All of that is true.
But to hear the level of optimism coming out of your mouth right now, when we're talking about the possibility of Trey Pipkins playing at left tackle, of course, in the biggest game of the year for the Chargers, when say what you want about the opposing offenses, that's fine. But this Chiefs team that the Chargers are going to be playing on Thursday is vastly different than the Chiefs team that they were playing earlier on in the season. Frank Clark wasn't there. Obviously, they picked up Melvin Ingram. Their front seven's playing a lot better
Against
this
trash
time around.
offenses.
Dan, I get that. But guess what? What do you think is going to happen when you put their front seven against a trash left tackle? Your right tackle and your right guard already this week against a Giants defense gave up 8 pressures, Dan. Now you're going to be playing without a third offense. Dan, I get that, but it wasn't Trey Pipkins there 100% of the time. It is not the same situation. I get it. He bounced around here and there, and it may have felt like it was him on the left side, but it wasn't him. So give me an offensive line combination that is anything but Trey Pipkins at the left tackle. I don't care if it's Filer. I don't care if it's Brennan Hymus, even though I know that that's probably not going to be it. But everything that was indicated for what was asked for Brandon Staley today, every arrow is pointing that it's going to be Trey Pipkins to take over the left tackle spot.
And just for those who have not heard the news, Trey Pipkins. I wish it was Trey Pipkins, not Rashawn Slater. No, I don't wish that upon anybody. Rashawn Slater, unfortunately, tested positive for COVID today. He has the potential of not playing this coming game unless he has 2 negative COVID tests between now and game time, which means he needs to have 2 tests either tomorrow and Wednesday or Wednesday and Thursday. I feel like he's been fine. He was great yesterday, so I imagine, I don't think he's that symptomatic, but who knows? We're going to get all into the Chiefs game coming up, so let's get back to the happiness that was And that is the Chargers are 8-5. Real quick,
This is a tough
transition
to go backwards now, my friend.
Brad Fuller just found out the news. At least he made sure not to spell it correctly. I appreciate that. No. But the 4-letter word is misspelled.
Spook.
No. Fook, no. My God. So, Jake, the Chargers 8-5. We had a relaxing Sunday. By the way, home field advantage. That was a great home crowd for the Chargers. Did you see the video of Herbert's throw? And did you hear the crowd buzzing afterwards? I'm just gonna have that like playing on repeat every time you hear, I don't know, Raiders fans or whoever on ESPN or talking about Chargers have no fans, because like it's just stupid at this point. Shall we get to the voicemail? What do you want to do next?
Go for it. Hit another voicemail.
All right. Again, Chargers Unleashed Hotline brought to you by Tick Pick. Let's hear from the 858. I believe this is Josh. Let's hear what 858 has to say about this Chargers victory.
Oh my gosh, Bull fam. That throw by Justin Herbert was insane. So fun to be able to watch a game that was over by halftime. Legitimately over by halftime. Although, chicken parm, we all saw that bobble. Thank God the game was already over, because Jesus Christ, if we had let the Giants back in the game in the fourth quarter with that stupid onside kick, I swear to God, my heart could not take any more of this. Great win on to Kansas City. Can't wait to see it live at SoFi.
I almost felt like I was listening to myself analyze.
It was John Griswold and Encinitas down in San Diego. Thanks.
John and Encinitas.
Oh, he didn't forget all those like a good 10 seconds later. Oh, hey, John, how are you? Yeah, that sounded a lot like...
He left a second voicemail just to confirm. I put those back to back.
Oh, so he did initially forget, and then he called back just to say, hey,
Correct.
This is who it was. Okay, I got it.
Which I'm grateful for, because now we know. Thank you so much for calling in.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, that sounded a lot like, Dan, how I analyze how a Charger game goes.
It does.
Normally, I don't get to say, thank God it was over by halftime. But yeah, that heart pumping at the end, don't want to give anything away. Yeah, that sounds like how I've analyzed a lot of Chargers games since I've been doing this show. So I'm glad to know that someone's on my wavelength as far as my thought process. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's suffering heart attacks watching the Chargers every Sunday.
Was there a moment in that game, once it was 37-7, even with all the crazy onside kicks, all that, was there a moment that you're like, oh, shoot, here we go?
No.
Neither. I watched it, I kind of just like chuckled. I was like, wow, okay, cool. Like they're making it fun.
I should have. Normally, old me would have done that. I mean, but hey, we squandered 24-point leads. We've done that numerous amount of times. Why would we squander this one? That one, I didn't have one thought about it.
Nope. I mean, honestly, that was, I think we asked for it in the preview episode, Jake. We talked about the Chargers just need to play a clean game. The only way they're going to lose this game against the Giants is if they beat themselves. And they didn't. Chargers had, 150-something yards rushing. They did a good job of sharing the load between Eckler, Kelly, Jackson. Their receiving core without Keenan Allen, honestly, looked pretty good. Guyton looked good. Palmer, Mike Williams. I mean, I honestly thought we were going to see more of Jalen Moore, but we didn't. I would have been surprised. Jason Moore, excuse me. Defense, I mean, again, we're talking. The Giants' offense was not good, man. That was bad. But, like, they held Saquon Barkley. I think he had, 50-something yards, maybe? What do you have? 64 yards. 64 yards for him, 56 for Devontae Booker. I'll take that.
So you still gave up 100 yards rushing?
Yep. I think they technically gave up less yards rushing than their season average, I want to say.
I'm just playing. It was virtually the only weapon that the Giants had, because It was either that or it was the 16 reverses and the 48 flea flickers that you try to lump in one play. And all of that just to have Mike Glennon throw it at a running back's legs.
Yep. Craig asked, I just checked the forecast. Are you going to bring a jacket? Yes. I was wearing a thermal.
We've got rainstorms that are actually starting tonight, Dan. And then they're going to kick back up on Thursday. So bring the rain.
Hey,
the last time that there was a rain and a thunderstorm in SoFi, it worked out pretty good.
Last time, my wife and I are literally walking into SoFi at the Raiders game. Lightning strikes. My wife goes, "Oh, that's a sign. Oh, that's a sign." Bam! Bam!
Well,
Chargers win.
If it's Trey Pipkins that's starting at left tackle on Thursday, we're going to need, blackout, legitimately shut down power to SoFi so that it's not operable until Sunday, so that we could have Rashawn Slater back. That's what I say should happen.
That'd be nice. I mean, the traffic would suck, but that'd be nice. Julio, Pipkins will absolutely start. So, all right, we can talk about it for a bit. So, a few people have talked about this offensive line thing. Obviously, a lot of people have talked about this. Glenn Jenkins says, anyone but Pipkins and Clemente plays left tackle and I'll be happy. He also says, I can play left tackle as Slater can't. I'm almost 100% sure I can block better than Pipkins. Do you think you can block better than Pipkins?
If it was me, if we get all the guys from Guilty as Charged and Chargers chat podcast.
Steve Haglin got some thoughts.
Hey, he's all about the hog mollies, man. So he knows what he's doing. I'll definitely have him on my team. Collectively as a unit, yes, we could all block better in that circumstance.
Shout out to Thunderbolt 24. Finally get to see us live. What's going on? Jake, what is up with Brian Bulaga? What if we find out? I mean, I doubt it, but what if Bulaga can play this week? Is it even possible?
No, there's no way it's possible. I mean, he hasn't gone on IR. There's no indication that they're putting him out for the season. The last I heard from Brandon Staley saying that, I think it was 2 weeks ago when it was the latest update on him. And it was, he's progressively coming back. I think he's doing light work now. For him, we know what his problems have been, and the back injuries are no joke. So best thing for him right now is to keep him out. If the Chargers do end up, making a nice playoff run, that'd be a good time to bring him back if he's healthy.
Question comes in. Why do you think Staley doesn't try Filer at left tackle and let Jameis get the first start? How much worse can it be than Pipkins or Clemente? Jake, you've been preaching about this when you saw it happen the first time.
So I know Brandon Staley was asked this question today that I don't know who it was that asked it out of the press conference as far as the possibility of Filer playing at left tackle. And Staley kind of glossed over and said that is one possibility, but that is not our primary, essentially game plan for the offensive line. He didn't say Trey Pipkins, but you just think in the back of your head that is the primary option that he's going to go with.
He said,
to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know why Filer is not the primary option at left tackle. If we are going by experience, which is what got Sino Clemente the guard job over Brendan Hymas, then you'd figure you would go with that same exact logic when we're talking about Matt Filer in this circumstance. I think that would be the best thing. You're still having a huge change in your offensive line, moving Filer to tackle, bringing in Hymas. You still have Corey Lindsley at the center position, and then Schofield and Norton as your tackles. Offensive line's going to shuffle, and trust me, if that ends up being the combination, it's going to go through some growing pains throughout the game. There's no question about it. But I will take that any day over another scenario where I have to say Trey Pipkins at left tackle. Look, I could swallow Trey Pipkins at right tackle. I wouldn't want to see it, but I could swallow it. But if you're telling me that he's yes, I do not want Trey Pipkins responsible for my quarterback's blind side. Thank you very much.
Well, Brad Fuller comes in, says, I'm not sure which clown we're referring to. I'm pretty sure it's one of those two you just talked about. It's going to need a lot of help with chipping or a stellar game. And also, Brad, thank you so much for the shout out. Love the show, man. Never miss an episode. You guys kill it weekly. Brad Fuller, we hear you. We see you. Thank you. I think that's a Chargers hat that he's got in his profile picture. Is that what that is? I think it is.
I can't fully tell.
I'm going to say it is. Shout out, Bolt fam. All right, Jake. Third voicemail. Chargers Unleashed hotline brought to you by TickPick. Again, tickpick.com/unleashed. One of these times I'm going to get it right. Go to tickpick.com/unleashed. Get the cheapest tickets around. It's going to be hard to find tickets for this Chiefs game for any type of cheap price, but for the Broncos game coming up January, check them out. Again, tickpick.com/unleashed. Third Chargers Unleashed voicemail from the 570 area code. Let's hear what they have to say after the Chargers beat the Giants. Remember, Chargers just won. They're 8-5. After beating the Giants 37-21. Let's hear what they have to say.
Hi, guys. Thanks again for always, taking the fans' voicemails. I'm sending this in Monday, so I'm a little late. But honestly, I just had a question. I messed up really badly. Really bad. Like, the Chargers won, and that was fantastic. Herbert made one of the best throws of the last 10 years. But I messed up. I booked tickets, and this is where I need your guys' help. I booked tickets for Thursday for Spider-Man No Way Home at 7 o'clock. I completely forgot the Chargers play the Chiefs. Like, this was weak. I just messed up so badly, and now it's like, man, I can't miss this game, can I? But it's like, Spider-Man, like, I fought tooth and nail for these tickets. I genuinely don't know what to do, and my heart says I got to watch this game because the way this Chargers team has played all season, they've battled through it all. Herbert has been playing phenomenal. I mean, I feel like I gotta see them take down Goliath one more time, right? But at the same time, it's like me and my friends are going to the movies on Thursday. Like, we planned this out, so I don't know what to do. I just want to hear what you guys think. What would you guys do in this situation? But anyway, bolt up. If we take down Kansas City, we get the Texans, we could be staring at the 1 seed should the Patriots lose 2 games, right? And that's not far-fetched. Like, Mac Jones, I could see them losing a couple games. But anyway, bolt up. Thanks for taking my voicemail if this makes it on the show.
Oh, my God.
That sucks.
First off, I feel his pain because when the tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home went on sale, I was working 3 different devices for the better part of an hour and a half.
Really?
And I finally got tickets. I didn't get them for Thursday. I got them for Friday. So, P.S. for anybody who's going to be spoiling anything Thursday, don't. I'm going to be muting all the keywords. But, oh, my God. Okay. This really tugs at my heartstrings because obviously I'm a huge nerd when it comes to the MCU. To me, Dan, you're not gonna like my answer to this. We've been waiting for Spider-Man No Way Home for way too long.
Longer than this game?
Yes, longer than this game. Dan, come on. I understand the circumstances. But look, and the reason for this, look, opening night in an atmosphere on a Marvel movie, especially one of this caliber, it's a pretty good time if you've never done it before. And the fact that we've been waiting for this movie for a long time, and the fact that it was so hard to even get tickets in the first place, I don't know how you could sacrifice that. I mean, I really don't. I know that the movie's going to be there. I got that. But he put all that effort into getting the tickets. We've been waiting for this movie for so long. I'm kind of going to have to give the edge to Spider-Man No Way Home in this case.
No.
Dan, I know you're not going to hate it. I know you're going to hate it.
No. I was about to crown you. I was about to give you like the what would Jake do instead of what would Jesus do. But nope, screw that. I'm going to do what would Dan do, WWDD.
Dan, if Trey Pipkins is playing left tackle in this game, Spider-Man No Way Home. Do not ruin your Thursday night.
No! The Chargers they're 8-5. You are at a brink of the season where you can beat the Kansas City Chiefs, go number 1 in the AFC West. Bolt fan about to freak the F out, and you're going to go watch Spider-Man You know what? Spider webs getting shook up everywhere. What are you doing? No. All season, you have 17 games. You have the rest of the year to go watch whatever the hell movies you want. But these days are for Chargers. And if you're going to not go to a Chargers game, arguably the biggest game of the year, and you're going to watch effing Spider-Man, get out of here with that. I'm sorry. That is not okay. Any Chargers fan who admittedly watches this Spider-Man movie, or any other movie for that matter, at the same time as this Chargers game, miss me with that one. No way. I don't care if it's Legends of the Fall, Gladiator, Endgame. I don't care if it's a Disney movie.
Legends of the
Doesn't
Fall.
matter. Oh, that's a classic.
But you're talking about something way on a different level.
I'm talking anything. If you are not watching this Chargers game on Thursday, what are you doing?
Okay, fine.
So yes, it is a problem. I get the problem.
Got me.
Question: Is there a possibility? Like, can you? I don't know. If this is. Can you do a thing where like you sell it on StubHub, like your movie ticket? I know it's a big deal, but like
I don't know how it works as far as, especially now with getting different tickets for a different time.
Well, no, but no, I'm saying like there's a ton of resale value for like regular sporting events or whatever events.
I got it.
Why can't people like resell their movie tickets to people? The guy can make a killing.
But again, why would you? If it was for Legends of the Fall, Dan, yeah, go ahead, do that.
No.
Okay, but okay, since I'm getting some flack in the chat room,
in the comments,
here's my solution. See if you can trade it in for a matinee. Go earlier. That way you get experience both things. That way you don't have to miss the Chargers game.
Yep. Brad Fuller comes out. If you watch Spider-Man instead of the Chargers game, I'm personally revoking your man card or woman card. I'll put that in there for you, Brad.
But now see what Glenn says.
Yeah, hold on. Marie says, F Spider-Man. Let's go, Bolts. Now, Glenn errs on the side of Jake Hefner. I don't want to watch Herbert get killed. If
it's not how I want to spend my Thursday night. That's just me. Apparently, that's just me.
It's just you and Glenn.
Get the circumstances.
It's just you and Glenn. But Craig, to your point, Craig is smart, going straight to the theater after the return flight from SoFi, because Craig is going to the game.
Well, because Craig, like me, bought tickets for Friday.
Hey, don't rub it in. Don't rub it. Look, the guy admitted he made a mistake, Jake.
I got it. I'm trying to come up with a solution here. Okay, so you're not going to miss the Chargers game, dude. Hell, see if you can sneak into a matinee. Switch your tickets to a matinee. Go ahead and switch it. I mean, if you switch your tickets for any other day but Thursday, you're probably not going to get them for this opening week. So you might have to wait a while.
That's probably why he got it, was because it was Thursday.
I mean, maybe. Shit, see if you could sneak into the midnight show. I mean, there's no way that the movie theaters are going to be at 100% capacity here.
I can't promote anything illegal.
Yes. But look,
if you happen to stumble upon the wrong movie theater and wait 2.5 hours.
If you happen to go to the old school way of thinking, if your ticket just so happens to be for West Side Story, and you so happen to sneak your way into the Spider-Man theater, MacGyver this shit. Do something about it.
Thunderbolt 24, that movie can wait.
Okay.
Glenn,
so I'm a nerd when it comes to the MCU. I'm guilty, but
this has gotten so heated that Chargers Marge has come in.
Oh my lord.
And has a bone to pick with you, Jake. Go ahead, read it.
I'm screaming from the other room, Jake. You have the rest of your life to watch that movie. How many opportunities do you have to watch this game? I get it.
Thank you,
I get
honey.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I'm now coming up with solutions. Now that I'm basically getting, mugged in the chat room right now, I'm coming up with solutions.
Bullying is bad.
That's just normally me, because I know that if he can't switch his tickets and he can't go see a matinee, he may not be going to see this movie for a while. And by that point in time, the spoilers are probably going to go out. It's probably going to get ruined for him. So I feel bad for the guy. I do. It was a faux pas on his part, scheduling or getting the tickets for this game.
He done messed up. Man, all right. So enough about Spider-Man. Look what he ended up doing to us. Biggest game of Herbert's young career. I ain't missing this for nobody. If Glenn comes back, this is great, Jake. If Glenn comes back, if Slater does happen to play, I would definitely pick the Chargers game over Spider-Man. Jake, WTF, Mauricio Molina. Okay, Jake. Chargers beat the Giants thoroughly, manhandled that team. 8-5, currently in the 5 seed. I think they beat them in almost every statistic that there was. To end this episode, Chargers have 4 games left? Let's say 5. Let's say Slater does not play. You don't have to say which games are winning or losing. Let's just say Slater is not playing on Thursday. How many more wins do you think this team has?
Say the question again, Dan.
Let's assume Slater is not playing, which he very well could, but I know pessimists out there are going to be like, oh, Slater's not playing Thursday. How many more wins does this team have in them? They're going up against Raiders, Broncos, Texans, Chiefs.
Best case scenario, and this could have been if Slater was playing or not, this last 4-game stretch for the Chargers, you could finish 3-1. 3-1. You could even finish 4-0. Yes, that's probably the most optimistic scenario that could possibly happen. Because Chiefs, there's no reason in hell why you should lose against the Texans team. You should be able to get revenge against the Denver Broncos and close out the year defeating the Las Vegas Raiders. No question. 3-1 ain't that bad to close out the season. I know that the 1 is what we're all thinking of. The most realistic option to lose is coming up this Thursday. Mm-hmm. I know that that's not something that we want to hear. We don't even want to be talking about losing to the Chiefs. But realistically, if we're looking toward the future, that's the one that we would probably be looking at as the 1 loss.
Which
now,
it could happen.
Right. Now, you look at the Chiefs' remaining schedule. They've got us. They have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have the Bengals, and they finish out against the Denver Broncos. Is it possible, maybe not probable, but possible that they could drop anyone in there? Maybe.
I think they'll drop one of those. They'll go 2-1 in there.
You think they'll go 2-1 in that stretch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but I don't know. I understand how big this game is, and I understand that possibly not having Rashawn Slater for it is just it's killing me, Dan. It's killing me a lot more than it's killing you.
No, it sucks, but that's why this Giants game was so huge. Imagine if they lost that Giants game somehow. This would have been catastrophic.
Or imagine if you beat the Denver Broncos when the Chiefs were on a bye.
We're not going there. Okay, real quick. We haven't talked about this, Jake. I'm glad that someone brought this up. Aegon 27. How have we not talked about Bosa strip sack celebration? Okay, so I saw this live, and I looked over. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And then I remember back. Jake, did you ever play Halo? When you were younger?
Oh, at first I didn't fully connect the dots that's what he was mimicking. But I'm like, what in the hell was that he was doing on the field? It was like, I'm like, is he squatting? And then he just did like a quick little up down. And then when I figured out what it was, I'm like, first off, Bosa was so smart to first walk 10 feet away from the action and everybody getting back around to hike the football. He walked 10 feet away just to do his teabag squat. It was hilarious. And I would love for him, love for that to be his new touchdown or sack celebration. Other than this, I would love for it to just now be
The Chargers lead the NFL in strip sacks and forced fumbles to the quarterback, which I'll take that. And you notice, I think it was Mark Schlereth who called it on the broadcast. You notice how Joey Bosa didn't even go after the quarterback there? Like, he was full on targeting the ball the entire time. I don't think he even touched the quarterback until after the ball. Yeah. That's a guy who knows his priorities. Like, you get that ball first. So that's going to wrap up the post-game reactions of the Chargers versus the Giants. Giants are now, I think they have like, the 6th and 7th pick in the draft right now. Like, they're sitting pretty, at least if they're focusing on that. Chargers, we don't even get to talk about draft picks yet because we're still in playoff mode. Glenn, you are correct. We are all Steelers and Bengals fans. We're also rooting for the Colts and the Bills. Big time for Chargers fans. Big time for the Bolt fan. Big time for Chargers. We got to be there for them. Go to SoFi if you have not been there yet. This last game was electric. Jake, before we get out of here, we got to pay the bills. Our friends over at MyBookie have been helping us out. Sponsored by MyBookie. Jake, you gave someone some unsolicited advice this past week.
It was very unsolicited, especially for the fact that it was a huge, odd, underdog of even happening. If you were watching UFC 269 this week, first off, what a freaking card that was. I even said, Dan was asking me point blank as far as the championship fights goes, who would I take? And we got to the Amanda Nunes fight. And of course I was saying Amanda Nunes, but I was saying to everybody else, I said, if you want to make money, put some money on Juliana Pena, because that's the only way that you're actually going to get a nice payoff. And shocked the world. Juliana Pena did that. And then of course we had the main event between Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. And that was even a big surprise to me. I did not see that result coming out, or especially even in that fashion. So it was a great card. So we actually have another card this week for you UFC fans. UFC Fight Night, Derek Lewis versus Chris Dukakis, Stephen Thompson versus Bilal Muhammad. Another UFC card. Make sure you go to MyBookie. Use the promo code LAFB. MyBookie.ag actually is the website. Go on there. Make your bets. Thank me later just for referencing the site, not the bets themselves, because that's not what I do. But go on to mybookie.ag, have yourself some fun, make yourself some money. Do it today.
Guys, this is going to wrap up this episode of the live recap of the Chargers-Giants win for the Chargers. Giant win for the Chargers. Shout out to everyone who has taken a part of this episode. Shout out to Glenn. Shout out to Brad. Shout out to Il2873. Shout out to Mauricio. Shout out to all the other names that I'm not going to be able to pronounce correctly.
Shout out to Craig.
Craig Smith. Shout out, friend of the show. Julio. Agon. We already talked about you. Wrong Speedy. We got Ann Powers. We've got all kinds of folks. Thank you guys so much. Anthony Weber. Jonathan Herrera. Robert Carper. We've got all kinds of stuff going on here. Thank you guys so much. Again, if you have not already, give us a quick like, subscribe, find us wherever you find your podcasts. Folks, thank you so much. Hydro comes in here. For folks who do not know what happened with the Joey Bosa strip sack celebration, check out Hydro. He'll let you know. Shout out to Mauricio. Shout out to Manny. Thank you guys so much for all of the positivity. And we will talk to you guys next time on Chargers Unleashed. Big game on Thursday. We need this. Bring that energy. Let's have some fun. Talk to you guys later.
3, 2, 1.
This is Chargers Unleashed podcast. Here are your hosts, Dan Wolkenstein and Jake Hefner.